And welcome. This is Microsoft Virtual Academy, the long-awaited course on Template 10 that's getting started with Template 10. Darren, hi.
Hi, Jerry.
Welcome back.
It's been a while.
It's been a little while. For those who don't know who Darren is, allow me to allow him to say who he is.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much. So I'm Darren May. I'm president and co-founder of Crank 211. We're a digital agency that like to produce next-level digital experiences. And I've done a number of these MVAs, mostly with Jerry, but I've done a few separately and worked on some edX courses and so on. And this is a lot of fun.
Including with Jeff.
And Jeff.
What a great guy. All right. And Darren and I both from Colorado. And so
I'm a native, as you can tell.
That's right. So we do a lot of snow things. So my name's Jerry Nixon. I work for Microsoft as a, it's snowing. It's snowing right now, as a matter of fact. I'm developer evangelist with Microsoft. I talk about Windows, XAML, and XAML all the time. And when we talk about it with Windows, of course. When we talk about Template 10, we're really talking about a XAML application. We're talking about UWP applications written for Windows 10. Template 10 is a framework to help you get started, and we'll talk about all the pieces. This is a big course, and we're going to try and cover exhaustively everything. In fact, take a look at this overview. This is the gratuitous block diagram that really represents everything that is Template 10 today. And so we're looking right now, this is it's a little before spring of 2016, but hopefully this will be Template 10 for a long time. We won't just blossom into a million things. It's meant to be lean, but there's a lot of pieces to it. Each one of these represents one or maybe a group of sections or sessions that we'll have during this course, and we'll try and cover, honestly, almost everything.
Yeah, we're basically going to be covering the major categories as illustrated here. We're going to pick out the key features that are currently in Template 10 within those areas and show some demos, really show how this hangs together.
That left column really represents where Template 10 began. And so Template 10 was a response to some missing templates for brand new applications in Windows 8.
It could have been called Template 3, couldn't it, really?
With 3 templates.
Exactly.
In Windows 8, we had the grid view template as well as the split view template. In Windows 10, we don't have that. In fact, all we have is blank, and that's all right, but it's really not enough. Back in Windows 8, when we were developing, we would use Prism for store apps, and that would be a framework that would help us get a long way really fast by bypassing a lot of the boilerplate stuff that every developer would have to implement anyway. Well, when Prism didn't come along with us, we borrowed a lot of code from the open source Prism for store apps code base, brought it over, created Template 10, and in a lot of ways enhanced where the vision was headed with Prism. And this is Template 10 for store apps, I guess is the best way to think of it.
But it also brought in a lot of the other things that we've been using in the apps that we were building. You've been building a lot of demo apps and helping companies implement specific features.
Previous MVAs we've done, we've been building all these helpers and services.
And so it was a great place to kind of bring together that library and to really help kickstart everybody's application development experiences.
And so this is an open source project that exists on GitHub, and you can go and contribute to that or pull down the code or access it directly through NuGet. If it's the templates that you want, it's an extension in Visual Studio. And I think maybe the easiest way is for me to pull up Visual Studio and just show the basic process of how to get started. And then the rest of the sessions in this course will show more in-depth of ways to really integrate it into your application.
Okay, so you're going to walk through the blank template and getting that up and running.
That's right. And so I have Visual Studio 2015 installed right now. And what I don't have is Template 10 installed. And so it's easy enough to go to the extension manager and go search for it online. All I have to search for is T10. Or Template 10, that'll show up as well. And there's the Template 10 template pack. Oh, I do have it installed. It's already installed. Well, it's easy enough to push the install button. I thought I had uninstalled it for the demo. Well, either way, once it's there, once you install it, you don't even have to reboot after you have it. When you say File, New Project, instead of just having the blank template under the Universal app, so when you go through the hierarchy here, Windows 8 now is its own node, and Universal basically means Windows 10. And under that then is our Template 10. It also shows up in the Universal as well. And so blank is all that you get out of the box, and then we've just installed these 3. And so I only want to show blank, the Template 10's version of blank, which is as little implementation as possible.
Lean as possible, yeah.
But still, you get it. All right, so I will say create new. There we go. And so it will pull down the template 10 NuGet package automatically because it's using project JSON. And the easiest way to get it to work, it will also pull up a little help file here. The easiest way to get it to work is just to build it and run it. The package manager will automatically pull down the NuGet package and build it and run it. So you get these little squiggly underlines on the files. I have these because I have the productivity tools installed. And the reason is when you first create it, it doesn't recognize the NuGet package. It will now. Anyway, so blank is blank, right? There's not much going on. The only two things that are on the main page is a header control that we'll talk about in depth as in just a hello world text block.
Rich content.
Yeah. Let me go through the...
So just a quick one. Whilst you still have those squiggles there, there's a nice power trick to remember to hit refresh on your Solution Explorer, and that should bring in... It refreshes the solution, adds the references for the NuGet packages that were just downloaded.
More like it reveals the references.
I know.
They're already there because we were just running it, but they're still not present until you hit that refresh.
Absolutely.
So structurally, you can see that there's really not much to this. You get the assets. There's no changes there. But you get a main page, and you get the view model for that main page. So you can see it's a very simple view model, nothing implemented at all.
But there's a couple of things that we're doing here right at the outset is we're starting to illustrate a convention for laying out your project. You know, we're introducing the view models folder, we're introducing the views folder.
That's right.
There's an idea of creating some consistent organization within your application.
That's right. And perhaps the most important side of things is the app XAML that's created. So there's the main page, and I'll jump over to app XAML as well. So app XAML in the normal blank template that ships for UWP applications doesn't look like this. It is, it's nearly 100 lines long. It's lots of code that's easy to break. And honestly, it's the sort of code that, Darren, you'll create your project, I'll create mine, and neither of us will change that because that's the way it's meant to be. So you could take that code, wrap it, and encapsulate it, and that's what we did. And so now, instead of inheriting from application, which all applications do, you inherit from our bootstrapper. So template 10 bootstrapper, if you look at the implementation of it is actually deriving from application for you and implementing all the code. More importantly, though, the original, the out-of-the-box application, I don't know the right way to say it, the out-of-the-box application class gives you many ways to activate your application. That's not the way template 10 works. Template 10 simplifies it to a single method called onStartAsync. Everything goes through onStartAsync. So if you're wondering how to handle different types of activation, launch, and invocation of your app, everything is handled now through the start async. We're going to go through this in detail for this course, but just know why is it like that, and what's the difference between this initialize and onStart. We'll talk about that when we go through the structure of the bootstrapper, but as just a quick aside, since we're looking at it right now, onInitialize will run every single time. OnStart will also run every single time, with the only exception of if you're being restored from termination, it doesn't. And so that's because it automatically restores your navigation state.
Correct.
So it's really a beautiful thing that a lot of developers have to implement by hand, and you just get it for free. So do you need initialize? You do not. You do not.
So another thing to note on here is we do have a link out to github.com and the wiki, where a lot of the...
You're right. I'll go ahead and click it so we can see it. It'll pull up. I say it'll pull up, but I mistakenly canceled it, I guess.
Or not.
That's funny. Let me pull it up in Visual Studio.
Here's one we prepared earlier. But that will actually take you out to the network. Oh, it looks like your network's disconnected.
Oh, that's all that it is. Well, I'm glad I'm doing this on screen. Yeah. Barry, switch away. Switch away. I'm showing all the secrets.
So basically, we have a wiki out there that's been updated not only by ourselves, but also the community that's contributing to Template 10.
Yeah.
And so there's a lot of documentation that's available there and constantly being added to. And this, for example, is the documentation of the Bootstrapper class. And as you mentioned, we'll be going through that in more detail later on, but it's worthwhile pointing out that there's a lot of content that's out there.
There is a lot of content. And even for the preparation of this course, we went to town.
Yes.
Like fleshing that out. So there's a lot of great stuff on the wiki.
We went to Redmond Town.
We went to Town Center. And it's worth saying that this is a wiki, which means you as a developer who, as you understand Template 10, realize there's a typo, it's easy for you to contribute back, right? So this is really not a Microsoft product. This is an open source project made by the community here. Community meaning us.
Us.
And everyone listening to this. That's so great. Anyway, so the three things that you get with the project template are the app XAML implemented for you, and you get this initial empty main page, right, that just has hello world, and you get a blank, already associated main page view model, which I'll just show you the associations right here in XAML, and given a name called view model so that you can use both legacy classic binding and X binding, which is precompiled binding. So everything is, this is not a compromise by any by any way of thinking of it, because template 10 leverages everything, including all the new stuff. And it's worth saying that right now we fully support 10.240 and 10.586. And obviously when Redstone comes out, we'll support that as well.
Yep.
Cool. Good. Well, anyway, that's a quick kind of overview. I can't wait to start talking about other templates as well as all those other boxes.
Sounds like a plan.
All right.